think Marcus Rashford will be proud of us so far.
Marcus Rashford!
After buying his Rolls-Royce Wraith, which he crashed, we got it driving in the last video. Yeah! Look at this, bro. But today, things are going to get a whole lot harder. This Rolls still has tons of faults. I've got no brakes. Every warning light on the dashboard is a joke. We've managed to put on a front subframe, a rear subframe, suspension, differential, radiators, and so much more. It's killing me. It's absolutely killing me. But we're forgetting the parts which matter the most. This Wraith has a lot of structural damage in the boot floor, on the rear quarter, and we already know how much that costs.
$8,959.91.
And the only way we're going to make this cost effective is if I do this myself. Now this is where things are going to get a little tricky. It's not just bolt on, bolt off parts anymore. This time it's structural work, and we need to make sure this is spot on, well, because it's a Rolls Royce. I think I'm going to work from the front backwards, but the first part of structural damage is this sort of little frame here, and you can see it's been pushed, I think, by the wheel, and well, it's bent all of this in, and the bracket which holds the wing as well. I assume if I put the wing on it, it wouldn't line up right. Now, the issue is with this, it comes in 3 sections. You've got like a bottom section, a middle section, and a top section there. And all of that was £850, which it is expensive, but I feel like it's probably worth it to buy those parts than cut them off so for now, I've got to try and get this off without causing any more damage. And this is the first time I've kind of tackled structural parts alone. So wish me luck. So you're probably wondering, why buy a parts car if we're not going to take these type of parts off it to use on the Mansouri Rolls? Well, the procedure for taking these type of parts off is pretty critical, and the risk of damaging them whilst doing it is pretty high. And we think we've got a better chance of selling Sue, our parts car, if it is a complete chassis rather than cut up into pieces. So for the sake of the extra £800 odd, we think it was worth just buying these structural parts from Rolls to use on it. Now I've got everything away from the structural panel that we will be changing. We can see how this thing is put together. All these little circles you can see are spot welds, and that's what's joining each panel to one another. So we're going to have to drill these out. This piece on top is in the right position, so I'm going to try and keep this here and not actually move this anywhere. And all of these spot welds here, I'm going to try and well, I don't want to ruin this top piece. I want to get this bottom piece off without causing any damage to this, which I think is going to be difficult. This part is steel. This bit here is aluminium. This is all cast aluminium. It's really strong, and you can see how the spot welds go from spot welds to, when they get here, into rivets, because you can't weld steel to aluminium. So instead they use rivets and bonding. So I'm hoping I don't have to re-rivet it all. I'm hoping it's just literally I get away with just taking out the spot welds and replacing underneath. But I guess we'll see how it goes. First off, let's try and remove this whilst keeping this in place. I'm going to be using the belt sander to do this. Because this panel is effectively scrap, we're not too worried about damaging it, and a quicker way rather than drilling the spot welds out is to use the belt sander. But on top, because we want to keep this panel, I'm going to be drilling out the spot welds instead. By doing this, it means I can reuse that top panel as I mentioned. Once I've drilled and sanded the spot welds, I can use the spot weld chisel just to wedge in between the joining panels to try and separate them. The lower panel also connects to the chassis leg as well. So the spot weld chisel is getting wedged in between those two there. And slowly but surely, we should be able to pull it away from it. I then thought it was going to be a little easier if we just get the saw out and cut the panel into 2 pieces. Then I could break away the bottom part, but the top part was still a struggle to get away. Out came the wire brush to get away some of the seam sealer, which revealed rivets. All of these bigger circles here are rivets, where it's riveting an aluminium panel to a steel one. So it looks like I'm going to have to drill some of these out, which is pretty easy because the rivets are really soft aluminium. I'm then going to use some heat which should soften the panel bond connecting the steel panel to the aluminium panel, and then go at it and try and wiggle the steel panel away. And it's off. Okay, I've been body shopping. Good news and bad news. Good news is that I've managed to keep this all intact and we can reuse it, and it's still got the nice OEM paint and all the original fitments. Bad news is I need rivets. Now you see this part here is steel, and when that slots in behind here, all of this is aluminium. Can't weld steel to aluminium, so instead they use panel bond and then they use rivets in there. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 or 10 rivets, I think. I think I need 10 rivets. And the rivets are exactly the same as the BMW ones. If we order them from Rolls-Royce, one, they're more expensive, and two, they take longer to come. So I've ordered them from BMW, and they should be here today, which means we can start refitting the new one into there, and that should be a pretty fast job. We just need to get this paint. I think that's where we're going to struggle.
Rivets.
They've come already! Yeah. Way! How much are they? How much?
£13 for 10.
What?
£13 for 10, that's good. Now we can continue building that front up. Body shop. So I'm hoping to leave this panel in place, and now that the rivets have arrived from BMW, I've started to clean away the parts where we're going to be welding and drilling holes in the new parts we got from Rolls. These are holes for the rivets. These are holes which we're going to use to plug weld one of the panels to the other panel. Hopefully that makes sense. Anywhere where we're welding, we're going to make sure it's nice and clean from paint. Weld through primer so it doesn't rust from the inside out, guys. Of course, the weld through primer comes out, and then Freddie flew over to make sure I was using the right PPE. That's what good friends are for.
Don't we need PPE? No.
The weld through primer doesn't stop there. We've got to make sure that we put it on the chassis leg as well. Okay. This part is going onto the aluminium, or as Freddie's here, aluminum. We're gonna, because it's going onto that, we're gonna have to put panel bond on it as well. So, look at that. Boom. Do you know what? This is the point of no return. Once this is on, it's on now. So on goes the panel bond in kind of messy fashion, but we got the all clear from Freddie. Once we got that on, we made sure it covered most of the panel where it's going to be joined into the aluminium part using the brush, and then we can slide it into place. Clamping it down with the mold grips and making sure all the holes line up with the ones that we've drilled. I'm now knocking the aluminium part so it's snug against the steel part. Then it's time for the rivet gun to come out.
Isn't powerful enough.
Oh yeah, that's well good. There's plenty of rivets to put in.
That's so easy, I could do it.
Go on then.
What, you want me to do?
Go on then. Go on then. Cameraman reckons he can do it. Yeah.
Right. Maybe it's not that easy.
Boom. And that should be all the rivets in place. They're not the same rivets used in the factory, but these are the exact rivets Rolls or BMW use to repair panels, which I think actually are stronger. Come here.
Sounded good.
Oh.
Can I just FaceTime Jack right now? Dude, that's good. That's good. Right, that's it. Mic drop and I'm out. So now I'm going to be plug welding the new panel onto the old panel. And as we did a lot of this on the BMW M3, I'm starting to get a lot better at it. It's good that we've kept this top panel in place because I can be pretty confident that everything stayed in the right place when we're welding the new one on. I've then just got to spend the rest of my day welding up all of these panels. And it's looking pretty good. Once I've done all the plug welds, we've then got to start cleaning them up. Just sanding down the top of the weld to make sure it's nice and smooth and flat. Almost like OEM. Well, as OEM as I can make it look. After that, we're going to mask up the area because we don't want to get any paint on the engine or anything around the engine. Get out the etch primer, which is used for the bare metal. This should prevent the welds from rusting in the future. And once I've primed the area, I can start using the seam sealer. This is applied between two panels to seal the gap, to stop any water or dirt getting in between the two. And I'm trying to make it look as OEM as possible. But the key here is just to make it do its job. Yeah, it looks alright to be fair. Looks good. Decent. Yeah. I think that once that's got a bit of paint on, OEM. There's also some sealing to do at the bottom. I'm just putting this sealant anywhere it was before I took the panels off. And once the sealant is dry, I'm going to run around it with the paint that I got mixed at the body shop, which is a pretty good match. And finally, wax oil. This is going to be sprayed inside the panels to stop it from rusting from the inside out. I'm buzzing. With that. Like, that is the first thing I've done with, like, not any other help.
I think you've done a good job, to be honest.
Thanks, Matt.
That looks OEM.
Look, that's not.
Just don't look too close.
Like,
it's alright,
that's just like it's close, but the thing is, it's covered up by a wing. But the job's done. It's sealed up. It's painted. I'm well happy with that. And the only thing as well, it's only up from here. Imagine in 5 years' time my repairs. If that is year 1. Okay. Now, we need to pay our attention to the rear quarter. Originally, I was looking at replacing this, and we know some parts will need to be replaced, like this structural part at the back here, but we think the rear quarter may be savable, and we're about to find out. If we're gonna have to replace it, it's one, ridiculously expensive. We know it's around £10,000. If these guys can get this quarter looking flat, it's gonna save a lot of money, a lot of time as well. And then we've just got to do the structural stuff in there. Let's do it. So the guys have come down from Allied Automotive where I get my cars painted, and they're going to see if they can work their magic on the rear quarter. But before they get to it, they've got to put on a boot which lines up straight with the panels, and at the minute, the original one doesn't. So off comes this boot, then they've got the boot off Sue to install next. I'm going to tighten this up and see if it all lines up. But it didn't. As we suspected, really.
That's why we got this.
And it's quite odd, actually, because it doesn't look bent to look at it, does it? It seems that one of the hinges has bent as well, which is not surprising. It's took a pretty big hit. So we're going to remove that hinge and then install one of the hinges off Sue, our parts car. And hopefully now, once we install this, we should get it all aligned. And this is really going to help when they're trying to repair that rear quarter. Back on goes the boot. And there's actually shims between the boot and the hinge, which I was shocked to see on a Rolls Royce. But once they've got them in place and the bolts in, we can lower it down and see now if it lines up.
Instantly fits so much better than the bent hinge. Bit of alignment to do. I think we'll be good.
So this thing is a... What did you call this tool again? A profile tool. And what the lads did, they put it on there and they get like the exact profile of the car. Well, he said not exact, didn't he? He said ish. And then they go on the other side and try and get it close to as possible. You can see how far out it is ish.
That way what? That should be like that.
Yeah, it's not horrendous, is it?
No.
This is what the good side looks like, and the bad side, well, it's far from it. But the guys are going to see if they can do any bending, pushing and pulling now, to see if we can get it somewhere near, and then we can make a decision on whether we think this rear quarter is repairable. This rear quarter is made out of steel, so it's a little bit easier to manipulate than something like an aluminium rear quarter. They're putting the tool in the boot now and started to push out all the damage in there. And you can see how much it's moving here. Slowly starting to get somewhere. Verdict is, rear quarter's fixable. This part underneath, not fixable. But we can get that from Rolls Royce. I can't remember the price on that specific part, but we buy that structural part underneath, drill it all off, replace that, and with that off, this should be able to get this rear quarter back into shape and match it up.
This is supposed to have one line in it. It's got like 3. That's
Yeah,
going to be crazy.
it looks better like that. I think it looks better.
It's the Mansour Armstrong edition.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can't look at both sides at once. Knowing that the rear quarter is now savable, I've moved back onto the front and I can start putting back together all the parts I took off before fitting that structural part. Look at this. Look, come over here, come over here. Bolts line up, yeah? Yeah. Look at this, look at this, look at this. Bolts line up.
Good work.
Thanks. Thank you. Professional. Right, let's bolt it all together. Let's carry on. Maybe I should stick to fixing, not driving.
Yeah, 100%. You ran out of talent there, didn't you?
So it's good news that the strut braces lined up to the original positions. The plan is to start building up everything on the front of the car now, so we can start to add the front grille, the bumper, and all of the other stuff on there. And so far, so good. Thanks to Rashford's team, we've got the grille and we've noticed something inside the grille as well. Look at that. LED strip which lights this up. I don't know what that's gonna look like. The one thing that is different off suit to this is that we've got some kind of like sensor. I think it's for the adaptive cruise control or something. But that's got to go in the back of the grille, like here. This sensor is for the adaptive cruise control, and I kind of like the way Rolls-Royce sort of hide it away in the grille. Once I've bolted it in, just sits in the top right-hand corner of it. Unlike BMWs, where they're just plastered right in the centre of the grille and look pretty ugly. All I've got to do now is bolt it to the car. This is on. Looks like it's really far in front, doesn't it?
Yes. Guess it has that surround on it, doesn't it? And it's to make room for.
Oh, and then the Spirit of Ecstasy goes in there. But I want to see if these lights work. It looks like there's more. Look. I reckon there's more. I reckon. Oh, it's going to be in the lower part of the grille as well, isn't there? Can we see if these work? I'm going to press the button.
Big reveal.
Ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? That looks sick.
Are they on?
Yeah.
Let me see.
Yeah, that's boys.
Whoa, that's actually sick.
Yeah, with that
I
blue
didn't think
paint.
I was going to like it, but look, when you see the blue, you can see the blue tint as you go round. No, that is actually wicked. Well done, Rashford.
How much do you think that was from Mansouri?
We seen, didn't we? I swear it was like $5,000.
It was worth it, to be fair.
You look at that. It's the little extra things Mansouri do to make their cars stand out, and it is pretty cool, even though it is a little expensive. Okay, here's the Spirit of Ecstasy, and also Rashford's team gave us this as well, which is the cap, which goes, look at that, forged carbon fibre to cover up when it's at the top. So, okay. Not only have I got to fit this Spirit of Ecstasy, I've also got to make sure it's in the right position and lined up with the grille surround. Otherwise, when she comes out, she could hit it. Next up, the Mansouri forged carbon fibre front grille, which does have a very, very small nick in it here. That'll polish up. The hardest thing about this is that we've got to get the grille on and then line up the Spirit of Ecstasy so she don't hit her head on the way out. Oh, there we are. That is in, but this, like carbon is really rigid, and as soon as you push that in, it's clipped. It starts trying to come out, but what we noticed, there was a bit of targa seal on the back of the clip. So I think to permanently fit it, what they've done is put targa seal on the back of the little trim bits here, which you can see. These little bits here, put targa seal on there. When it's wet, push it in, hold it down like that, and then it will set in and hold it in place a bit better than what it is now. But it's roughly in line, the forged carbon fibre bits there. Here we go. Hey, that's not too bad actually. I think the bonnet's loose. The bonnet is loose. Look at that, it's looking better already. Made a mistake. This actually clips in to the bumper, so this has got to go on afterwards. So I'm gonna. But before we put the bumper on, the headlight's got to go in. Rashford's team sorted us out with the headlight, which was good. I think we forgot to show this on the day that we got there, but we've had to, well, my dad repaired some of the tabs.
Look at that one.
So, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was either that or another £3,500 for a headlight. So I think, we don't even know if this works.
Let's hope it does.
But as we started fitting the headlight, we noticed something was wrong. Oh no. So they did change something.
Oh, that's good of them. I'm glad they did that.
So it looks like something is different. It's just that bottom bracket.
That bracket there is fixed
Oh,
on this,
it's
but
welded.
it's welded on. They screw it on this. Don't they?
It looks like there was a difference between the headlight bracket on Sue and the headlight bracket on the Mansouri rolls. We measured the length of the one which come off Sue and the one which come off the Mansory one was a lot shorter to obviously fit the facelifted headlights. This is the part of Sue, and this is the part of Margaret. You can see it's pretty much identical. So it must just be this bit coming off it, which is a bolt-on bit on Margaret, whereas this is all welded on Sue. So that must be like, look, that's all welded on there, but this one can bolt off. So I'm going to put this one on, and then my dad's doing a bit of bending over there, and we can go back and see how we can get on. So back on goes the original piece which was on the car in the first place, and then was going to have to try and bend back the headlight bracket which was bent in the accident. Round 2. We've got this back into place, a little bit of bending, twisting and manipulating back in. We've left it quite loose so we can move it around, and now we're going to go for attempt 2 to put the headlight in. Here we go. Second time looker. Oh, we don't have that bracket on yet. Attempt 3. Big moment. Headlights on. We want to see if Rashford scammed us with a bad headlight. Oh, okay.
That's the side light.
Yeah, side light's on. Grab headlight. He didn't scam us. Now, we've got to put on this bumper, but on the bumper, this is absolutely crazy. Like, you know, the stuff which, there's all lighting and stuff, and like, we're trying to work out what's aftermarket and what is actual Rolls Royce, but I think we are missing a few bits of it. See all these little boxes here? These boxes, I'm pretty sure these are like Mansory stuff, and there's going to be extra lighting and LEDs all over this, but look at the amount of plugs. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 plugs for a front bumper, and all it's got in it is 2 indicators and 2 daytime running lights. First step is to find out where all those plugs went and plug them in. Second step, line up the bumper. Now there is a little bit of damage to this front bumper, but it seems to have got away pretty lightly, being that the accident was so bad. But all of this damage will be repaired once we get the car painted.
It does look good.
It looks like way more like, whoa.
It looks a lot better than the stock bumper as well, actually.
You can see why. I feel like Margaret ain't an appropriate name for her with that bumper on.
Maggie.
No, I feel like it needs to be. What's like a gladiator name beginning with M?
Mary.
More electrical plugs to plug in, and then it's back on with the forged carbon fibre grille surround. This front end would have cost Rashford over £30,000.
Big moment. That looks good, doesn't it?
Looks wicked, doesn't it?
What a car.
Look at her.
Can't we see if Margaret comes out the front?
Should we see if it comes out?
Yeah.
We're about to see if Margaret comes out.
Right, here we go.
I'm going to come out or break the grill.
Here we go.
Yeah! Oh! Yeah, sort of. It's out. It's like.
Well, what's up with that?
Just
It
needs a
doesn't.
bit-
There we go! Hey! That's
The
perfect.
wipers have come on as well. Yeah, look at Margaret chilling there. Oh, look!
Yeah, it's the same.
Lights are on the bottom. Yeah. I don't know why the wipers have come on. See if she goes back down, okay?
Oh, what? Oh, oh no, stop. What?
Where's that coming from?
Yeah. Oh, that was good. Yeah, that worked.
Attached on there.
Yeah, it's not perfect.
It just needs going back a bit, back into the...
She's got character though, because you get out. Inside here is one for the grille lights, and inside here is one for the daytime running lights. So if I click both of them, this is just like an extra flex if you've got a Mansory Rolls. Boom, boom, boom. Look at that. How can you not see you coming now? All of these lights are on at the bottom. There's like daytime running lights here, daytime running lights here, and then there's just every light imaginable underneath. Oh my days. It's Mansory, isn't it? It's just meant to be absolutely wild. Next step. let's get this door on so then the guys can sort the rear quarter out. And also we'll do the airbags. But to get the door on, we've got to move it off the ramp. To get it off the ramp, we want brakes. Now, Matt went to Rolls-Royce and got a bit of an insight on how we can do the brakes without using the diagnostic tool. Now, even though in the last video we got the car running, we couldn't get a brake pedal. We bled the brakes multiple times to try and get all air out of the brake system, but no matter how many times we did it, we still had a soft, spongy pedal.
Yeah.
Now when you push a brake pedal in a car, it pushes a piston inside the master cylinder, which then pushes hydraulic fluid along the brake lines, down into the brake caliper, which then pushes a piston, which pushes the brake pads onto the brake disc. Problem is, if there's any air in that system, then the brakes become spongy. Best way to picture it is that you can squish a football with air in it. But if you try and squish a cylinder full of hydraulic fluid, it won't squish. It is rock solid, and that's how we want our brakes to feel. Now, because the Rolls-Royce braking system is so complex, it has an ABS system stored underneath the car which we think is collecting the air. And usually to bleed the brakes on a Rolls-Royce, you'd have to have a special computer which will self-bleed the brakes. But when Matt went to Rolls-Royce to pick up parts, they told us a secret way to get past it.
You want a brake leader that will generate a minimum of 2 bar pressure.
Right, okay. So Mr. Push isn't good enough, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, Mr. Push might be a bit weak on that.
Right.
And then if you can, a diagnostic machine that will run a bleed sequence, so it buzzes the valves inside the ECU unit.
So it might have to come here, is what you're telling us?
Possibly, but if you've got a pressure bleeder that do 2 bar, then if you do it enough times, you should be able to get it through.
Okay.
So now we need at least 2 bar of pressure on Mr. Push. My dad's put 3.5 bar of pressure in this tyre here. It is rock hard. That tyre is rock hard.
So could we just blow all the pipes off the box?
yeah. So now I think we're going to use Mr. Push off this tyre with 3.5 bar of pressure and push all through the brake system.
What could possibly go wrong?
Brake fluid all over the car. So we've got to remove the reservoir cap, and then we're going to fit Mr. Push to that cap, which is full of brake fluid, then attach Mr. Push to a tyre with 3.5 bar in it. Yeah, this is going to be a lot of pressure now. A lot of pressure from this pushed into Mr. Push, which is pushing it into the brake system.
Okay, that's all.
Now we've got to hope we have enough pressure to bypass doing it electronically. Right, any air going to come out? There's a bit of a bubble. I think we did. Me and Matt did this multiple times.
And it didn't work.
Yeah, it didn't work.
So what are we doing it again?
This car's still under warranty. So worst case, if we fix it, take it back to Rolls-Royce and say the brake pedal's gone, they might fix it under warranty. Yeah, that's a good theory.
They wouldn't always dream.
They would never actually know that it's been an accident either, because like even if they did check it out on Car Vertical, they'd actually see the photos of the damage, which kind of self-snitch, but hopefully they don't use Car Vertical. But you can see on the report, it's a completely clean title car, no outstanding finance, no mileage fraud, and it's never been involved in an accident because the insurance did a full madness on it, and you can see one of that in the previous episodes, how it's not got an insurance category on. So even after that history, the car should hold a lot of value because it's still low mileage and still under warranty. Nowhere coming out of that, still no success. Another thing that's cool about Car Vertical is that you can see a full timeline of your car. Every time an ownership's been changed or a private reg has been put on it, and you can also see whether it's recorded as stolen as well. And all you've got to do is click the link in the description and use code MATT for 20% off that check as well. It's well worth it if you're thinking about buying a new car or checking your own car out. Let's get these brakes bled, hopefully, fingers crossed.
It's absolutely nothing, look, it's perfect.
We're failing.
There it comes.
Oh yeah, there's a little bit.
See it coming out there?
Yeah, but you think it'd be like
There's
a
a lot.
massive big bubble. Oh! Whoa! Whoa, it's all coming out! It's all coming out! Look at it! It looks like we're actually starting to push out the air that was in the brake system. So my dad's gone round to bleed up each corner just to make sure, and then we're going to test the pedal one more time. Okay. Oh!
Yeah?
Yeah! Yeah, go on! it look?
Solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, solid.
Yeah, Mr. Bush! It worked. Who would have thought Rolls Royce would have been right? Look at that, solid brake pedal. So everyone knows now, you don't need a diagnostic tool to do it. You just need 3.5 bar of pressure. Go straight through it. Yeah, got decent pedal there. Great news.
You've seen your tub? It's all swollen at the bottom. It don't stand up anymore.
Okay, wheels on, let's get this forward and we'll do the airbags inside. Now we compare our attentions to the curtain airbag which is deployed and the airbag in the seat. To take out the curtain airbag, first we've got to remove the A-pillar trim. This is held in with clips and also 2 tethers as well, to stop it from flying in your face when the airbag blows. Once that's out, the curtain airbag is connected to the car with loads of T30 bolts, and there's a lot of them. This airbag deploys with a lot of pressure, and the last thing you want when it deploys is it completely detaching from the car. Then it wouldn't do its job. Yes! Yes! We're out. One airbag out. Luckily, we've got the one from Sue, our parts car, to put in place of it, and it is exactly the same. This has definitely saved us a lot of money, and some manufacturers won't even sell airbags to the public. You have to be a registered repairer to buy them, so it was definitely a good idea getting Sue. And that's one curtain airbag installed. Okay, seat airbag. Now we think, unlike some airbags where they damage the actual fabric of the seat, I think you can still just unbolt this, put a new airbag in, and then save this part of the trim. We're hoping so anyway, because it's Mansoris. So I think just the backing comes off of the seat.
Oh, that was a good yank.
Lovely yanking. Clip that. Here's the back. Oh, that's pretty cool. Look, you can see the Mansory belt just
chilling
around the back, and all the other gubbins which are BMW. First I've got to remove the lever which covers over the airbag, which is held in with 2 T30s. And it then uses like a series of clips to hold it in place, which I'm using my flathead to get out.
Class.
Question is this broken? We don't know yet. After that, the airbag's just held in by 2 10mm bolts, and it comes out as easy as that. One airbag out. And in goes the second-hand airbag that we got from Sue's seat. Okay, I think this is it. And that, I think we just put it straight back in. In we go. Put that in. Do you think it's glued, or do you think it just clips in?
Does it not just clip in like before?
Yeah, I think it might just clip round the back, you know. We've checked Sue, and nothing is actually damaged on this, so it must literally clip in right behind the back. We've just got to get this in, so more hours of trying, I think. Let's keep going. Once I've got it clipped in at the front, I've got to slide it back into the clips at the back of the seat. This was a really fiddly job, but you want to make sure you do it right. Oh, let's get the back on. Airbag in. I can now connect up the electrical connections to the switch on the back of the seat, and then push the clips all back in so the seat becomes one again. There we go. Hopefully we don't have any faults in the seat belts, but they haven't locked out. Okay. Next up, it's the door. This is the one that we've took off Sue, and it's extremely heavy. We've got to line it up with the hinges, and then there's one big bolt at the top hinge, and then another bolt on the bottom hinge we've got to slide in.
Good.
All tightened up, then the electrical connector goes in place.
Perfect, I'd say.
Oh! Look at that! Oh, look at the colour!
Looks like the in-betweeners car.
Yeah, it does. And this bit's chrome as well. Now we're going to pull the rolls outside so we can get a nice inspection on its new look, and maybe take it for a little spin now that we have brakes.
I've got no brakes. I thought we were going to crash. I don't think the brakes are done properly. I lost all brakes. I've completely lost it. So they're not fixed? I reckon once the ABS kicked in, it must have pumped a load of air out. Well, it's a good job we didn't go on the road. All OEM.
Yeah, that's a word you can use. Yeah. I can see that.
Can't believe Tony crashed your car.
Like a drug that I just can't deny, giving me the best high.